Please repeat after me. I don't give a...
Okay, guys, so I was very sad to be informed by my son that the Woke Talk YouTube channel got Thanos'd. So hopefully this one, this is a different account. And they do the same thing, just compilations of TikTok, kind of like fat positivity. And some of them, I agree with some of what they're saying about people being treated with respect and stuff, but other things, obviously, you guys know I don't agree with. So let's get into it and see what we think.
My For You page has been absolutely full of people talking about fat acceptance, and it makes me super happy, especially to see a lot of straight-sized people also jumping in and coming to our defense as we're trying to dismantle fat phobia on this app. I just wanted to add a little note.
So, like dismantling fat phobia. Sorry, I just ate almonds. I think a lot of things are being called fat phobic when they're not fat phobic. Like, a lot of things that I've been, once you start watching these things, you kind of get stuck down the rabbit hole and they keep recommending things to you. Me having the thought of, I don't want to get fat. I've been morbidly obese. I don't want to get fat, and therefore me thinking I'm going to eat a certain way and exercise so that I do not get fat, I've been told is fat phobic. So I don't think that's fat phobic. I think that's being health conscious.
Because I'm seeing a lot of straight-sized people revolve their argument around this idea of health.
But that it's true. There are more and more studies out. I know just in the last, I want to say 60 days, there have been 2 studies that have come out that say that you cannot be healthy and obese. I know a lot of people will make the argument, well, look at my lab work, I'm metabolically healthy, and you might be for now, but it won't last. And I'm going to make the assumption that there will be more studies like that.
And they're saying body size and weight don't give.
And what's on her face? What are those yellow things on her face? Is anyone else distracted by that?
A full picture of someone's health, because there can be unhealthy thin people and healthy fat.
And that's true.
Fat people.
I mean, I don't think you can be fat and healthy. I just don't.
And that's true. But this emphasis on the idea that there are healthy fat people.
They're not, though.
And that's why we need to dismantle fat phobia is bad. And not even diving into the fact that healthy versus unhealthy are very loaded, complicated terms.
No, they're not. They're not. This movement makes them complicated. It's not complicated. It's not complicated.
Some fat people are unhealthy, and that's okay. We all still deserve to live in a world without...
Okay, I don't think it's okay.
Fat phobia.
Okay, that's really loud. The fat acceptance movement is so toxic. Imagine calling your doctor fat phobic because they tell you that your weight makes you at a high risk for diabetes. 100% agree with this, and now this girl's going to come in and say something, I'm sure. But she's 100% right. I feel like your doctor, if they fail to inform you what your risks are of your weight, that's malpractice. That's not good medicine.
Let's talk numbers, shall we? When a thematic analysis was conducted of 21 different studies within the U.S. National Library of Medicine,
I'd like to see all these.
These studies confirmed the 10 following themes within fat patients: contemptuous, patronizing, and disrespectful treatment, lack of training.
Now, I will say, the entire time that I was morbidly obese, and even up to my highest in the 300s, I never had a doctor, a nurse, anyone in medicine make me feel like that or be contemptuous or rude or whatever.
Training, ambivalence, attribution of health issues always to excess weight, assumptions about weight gain, barriers to healthcare utilization, expectation of differential healthcare treatment, low trust and poor communication, avoidance or delay of healthcare services, and doctor shopping.
Never have I had that happen.
The assumption that a fat person's healthcare problems are always related to their weight allows many underlying conditions and potentially dangerous diseases to go undiagnosed.
I will say too that when I've been thin, so for example, I was a size 4 and I started having horrible knee pain on my left side. It took me a year, and I was a straight size. I was, like I said, size US 4. It took me a year to get someone to finally listen to me when I said I need an MRI. They kept saying, well, let's, knowing that I have rheumatoid arthritis, like, well, let's get an x-ray and see what it, if you've had any arthritic changes. And I'm like, what is wrong with me is not going to be seen on an x-ray. I need an MRI. It took me a year to get the MRI. And 3 days later, I was in surgery with an orthopedic oncologist because I had bone cancer. So I was straight size. Bad medicine exists on every end of the spectrum between ultra skinny and 800-pound people. So I would like to have had been asked about my experience.
Diagnosed. A perfect example of this is Jen Curran, who was experiencing severe symptoms but was told by her doctor simply to lose weight. She was refused other treatment. Jen Curran ended up having bone marrow cancer. Fat phobia kills.
When your friend's Facebook status reads, I'm looking for 5 friends to join my new diet group, and ironically she decides to give you a call. People who are in MLMs can be pushy. I'm not answering, sis. Okay. I wouldn't answer either. She's got layers of text on top of each other. And basically she's telling people not to tell other people how to eat. You don't know personal struggles that they're going through. Okay. I have been told when I was fat to eat a salad, and when I was sick and skinny to eat a cheeseburger. So I've experienced exactly the same thing on both ends of the spectrum. And yeah, most people, I'm sorry, but you don't get over 300 pounds because you're happy and you just happen to like potato chips. There is an underlying reason why that is what you chose to cope. I mean, that's just what it is. Somebody showed you.
You thought you did something there?
I can't read what this says. How to wear a crop top if you're fat. Buy crop tops. Okay. I mean, you should probably pair them with shorts or pants or a skirt. Okay, you know what? Like, I don't wear crop tops, and I'll probably wear them on vacation in Jamaica on the beach or whatever, because most people are wearing, bathing suits. That's just my preference. And if a fat person wants to wear crop tops, go ahead. But I will say, like, on my public Instagram, people will slide into my DMs and make comments that maybe they won't make on posts. Sometimes they'll make rude comments on posts. But be prepared. If you post something like that and you have a public profile, people are probably going to say something because people are dicks. I mean, that's just how it is.
Something I've noticed a lot when I talk about being fat is that then people love to chime in with something that they think is a compliment, but it's not actually, and that is, oh, but you're so beautiful.
So this also irks me because there's just no making everyone happy, They want thin people to back them and defend them when people are coming for them about their size, or if they're being, if someone's being fat phobic towards them or just being rude or whatever. So they want straight size people to say that, but they don't want people to say, a thin person to say, oh, you're beautiful, because then they're taking that as, oh, you're saying it's a waste on me because I'm fat. And I think a lot gets read into things that aren't there.
And nowhere in the conversation when I'm talking about me being fat do I insinuate that I don't think that I'm beautiful. Like, come on. I know I'm a very attractive human being, but I'm also a fat human being. Like, that's...
See, like, it's just unnecessary. It's just unnecessary. Why don't you just take the compliment? They didn't say, you're beautiful, too bad you're so fat. That's not what was said. Just take the compliment and move on, instead of dwelling on every single little thing that someone says and picking it apart and making it something it's not.
It's just my body type. That's just me.
But that's not your body type. No one is born to be obese. That's just not the truth. It's just not.
So I think when people say, oh, we are so beautiful, they're assuming that the word fat is synonymous with the word ugly, which is
Yeah, she's
not
a
true.
mind reader
and
now.
which has been used in the past, but we need to start moving on from that where fat equals ugly or ugly equals fat.
Well, she needs to just move on from trying to read minds because she's way off out in the weeds there.
Because that's just a body type. You can absolutely be a beautiful human being, but also be a fat human being. So thin people, if you are using that compliment, try a different approach to these conversations.
Try not reading so much into it. It's just so stupid. It's stupid.
And understand that a lot of times fat people just like talking about being fat. And it's not saying that they're...
These comments really make me laugh. Here I am
You shouldn't.
making
You shouldn't be riding that horse. Poor back.
plans for hits, Weck, Equine Affair, trailering down to ride with Philip and Will. And these haters have probably never even ridden outside of whatever.
The other thing too that I'd like to point out is that, you know, there's that expression, don't feed the trolls. Like, why give attention to people who leave these shitty comments? Because I promise you that a lot of these people who post about body positivity and fat liberation and fat acceptance and all that, I've scrolled through their comments and most of them are quite positive.
Backwoods hillbilly
So don't give
town
them
they ride
attention.
in, if they've ever even ridden a horse at all. So you guys just keep hating. I'm gonna keep being 100% fabulous and kicking your asses in everything I do. But have a nice day. These comments really make me laugh. Here I am making plans for hits, Weck, Equine Affair, trailering down to ride with Philip and Will.
Oh, and dip your fries in ranch, you're gonna be shook. You're not gonna believe what I found, and you got me messed up if you actually think I'm gonna use this for chocolate. Cause no, I literally had to put so much ranch, but
Okay, I like ranch, but this is freaking disgusting. And if she puts a chocolate bar in that, I'm gonna vomit.
also, why is it so satisfying going up the tube? It started working, and now I can die happy knowing that this exists.
Oh my god!
Everything in
I don't care that she's fat. If a skinny person did that, I would have the same reaction because that's...
ranch.
60 years.
Y'all, do you not think that's disgusting? That grossed me out. Okay.
Study after study has shown us the same thing. Among people who pursue intentional weight loss, 95 to 98% of them will regain the weight that they lost.
And do you want to know why? The reason why that happens is because for some reason they think, oh, I'm going to get to my goal weight and then I'm going to go back to eating exactly how I used to, which is what got me fat in the first place. You have to make it a lifestyle change. You cannot go back to eating garbage, going through drive-thrus 3 times a day. You need to continue eating a healthy whole food diet for the rest of your life. I'm not saying you can never have a cheat, you can never have a treat, you can never, none of that. I'm not saying that because I'm going to Jamaica Monday and you best believe I'm going to be eating dessert every day. So that's not what the truth is, but you can't have dessert every day. You can't eat out every day. You can't have a double cheeseburger every day. And that's what happens is people get to their goal weight and then they just lose their minds and they go back to how they were eating and they're like, I can't believe I gained this weight back. Really?
Within 2 to 5 years.
I hate this.
2/3 of those
quote.
people will regain more weight than they lost in the first place. Significant, sustainable weight loss is not.
And that's a lie. This is a bold-faced bullshit lie, and it's dangerous to sit there on a platform where this woman's got probably 6-figure followers, and she's telling them significant sustainable weight loss is not possible for the majority of the population. It's a lie. It's a straight-up lie. And this is being led by the body positivity, fat liberation, fat acceptance people to keep you unhealthy and dead by the time you're 50. Because have you ever seen a 90-year-old grandma who weighed 600 pounds? It doesn't happen because they die. And it's obese. It's related directly to their obesity. So many of these things, 300,000 people in the United States last year died because of their obesity. 300,000. I believe that's more than what died from coronavirus in the United States that year.
Possible for the majority of the population. Many people who pursue intentional weight loss end up developing what's called chronic weight dissatisfaction or weight cycling. It's most commonly known as yo-yo dieting, and it's when you gain and lose weight repeatedly.
And that's extremely unhealthy for you. If you yo-yo diet, it's horrible for your heart, and it's better to find a set point where you can maintain your weight and stay there. Do not get heavier, don't do that. But it's better. So, okay, when Bob retired from the Air Force and before he became a contractor, when he retired from the Air Force and when he became a contractor, he would deploy and he would eat really great and he would exercise every day because he had the time and he didn't have distractions of family life. So then he would come home and he would not exercise and he would gain everything back. So he was constantly, he deploys 3 times a year. So he was truly yo-yo dieting. And then when I started training with Marcia and he got on board with me, now he's losing body fat like crazy and he's not doing the yo-yo thing anymore. His blood pressure's fine, his heart is healthier, like everything's good. So yeah, yo-yo dieting is horrible for you.
The science shows us that weight cycling poses a much larger risk to health than just staying fat.
I'm gonna need to see some studies, like at least 10 of them. Because anybody can pluck a study out and make it fit their narrative. If you show me one study, you need to be backed up with several good science studies and ask any scientist. I mean, that's just...
Imagine that.
Go on Instagram and find Scientist with a Board. He's awesome. And he actually talked about that.
I'm fat, and I have this radical idea that I'm allowed to exist. And not just to exist, to thrive.
Nobody told you couldn't. What is that? Great. I mean, when I was fat, I was doing great. Like family life, kids, career, all good. Money's good, all that. It's not gonna, thrive, go ahead until your health starts taking a shit.
To make the world more wonderful because I was in it. And because I knew my value. I'm not going to comment on your weight loss. I'm not going to comment on your weight gain. Your weight fluctuations in every iteration are deeply human, terrifically ordinary, and absolutely devoid of moral implication whatsoever. I'm not going to comment on your weight loss. I'm not going to comment on your weight.
People have such a funny concept of how size and weight works. I remember I asked a skinny person, how much do you think I weigh? And they're like, 200? Like, Bessie, I'm 300. Probably more.
I'm like, Bestie, she lied to you because she didn't want to say you look like you're 300 pounds. Because if you were 280, you would have lost your shit on her and been on here making a TikTok being like, skinny people are horrible and they always judge my weight higher than... It would have been a complete opposite. She was trying to be nice to you.
I haven't weighed myself since quarantine, which is beside the point. Your weight and size don't matter at all. But then they'll be like, oh yeah, I have clothes you can borrow. Size large. It's a t-shirt. They're like, oh it's pretty big on me. It'll probably fit you. Size large, belly shirt, crop top. Crop top. Bless their little noodle hearts though. They have their heart and mind in
Bless your little noodle head that you didn't get what they were trying to do.
the right place.
I get really frustrated with this, you guys, because like I said, and I say it every time, I've been over 300 pounds and all of this crap that they're trying to push is them making excuses to stay unhealthy. Because you want to know why? No one wants to be uncomfortable. Dieting sucks. And then figuring out how to maintain that. Maintaining is much easier than dieting. At this point it is for me anyway. Dieting has been, it's not fun. And you're uncomfortable. But when you get to a point where you're like maintaining that weight, and you figure out what your maintenance calories are and you are exercising regularly, like it just becomes second nature. And it frustrates me because I just feel like they're pushing this bullshit onto all the, and really young people follow these girls and believe the BS, and it's super frustrating. So I'm going to stop it there before I have an aneurysm explode in my head. But I really appreciate you guys being here. We're going to link the original video down below. And we're also going to link my Instagram if you guys aren't following me on there. I try to post fun stuff on there. I make fun of myself a lot. And there's cute dog pictures too. So I want to thank you guys so much for being here. And the next one will be from Jamaica. So you guys have a really great weekend, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.
Please repeat after